Hello and welcome to Bill, the Billboard Guy's Billboard Review Show. I'm Jason Sirotin, your host, and I'm going to take you through an exciting adventure with the one and only Bill, the Billboard Guy, Bill Hobbs. Bill, how are you?
Doing great. How are you, Jason?
I'm excited to chat with you. Bill, how long have you been in the billboard space? Give everybody your background.
Sure. I've been doing this since 1990. So I guess that ages me a little bit. So 34 years, and worked for an outdoor company. And then we started our own agency back in 2007, and have a lot of clients we've worked with for 20, 30 years, and have a lot of clients that worked with the outdoor companies originally and found out that I was an option, and I was able to change their program with different locations, optimize the artwork, and they had much better campaigns and much more effectiveness.
Awesome. Well, what we're going to do on this show, Bill, the Billboard Guy, is I'm going to toss up billboards for you to react to. I want your honest feedback. Some of them I picked because I know they're good. Some of them I picked because I know they suck. So it'll be your job to set the record straight, hopefully give us some advice on how these billboards could be better, and have some fun along the way. So here we go.
Sounds great.
The first one is Odwalla. Eat well, drink well, do good. CBS board. What do you think of this board, Bill?
Well, the good thing about it is the eat well, the drink well, do good is easy to read, and a lot of contrast between the background and that. And the disadvantage is the logo is so small, you don't even know who the advertiser is. So if I drive by at 30, 40 miles an hour, I don't even know who the advertiser is. And then there's also 3 bottles, and there's a couple other things next to the bottle. And if they just put one large bottle, then it would be much more effective. But really, if you drive by and just glance at this, you notice eat well, drink well, do good, but you don't notice the advertiser. So it's
I'm going to play the marketer. I'm going to play the marketer here, though, Bill. What about we want people to know that we have flavors and also snack bars?
Yeah, so that type of message is good for print ads or digital advertising on the internet where you have time to read it. But with billboards, the logo needs to be at least a third to a half size of the entire board, or else people just won't know who the advertiser is, which you see when you drive around, you see that very frequently. But the different, like what you had mentioned, Jason, if you want to let people know, hey, we have all these different flavors, you want to have, we have snack bars, then you would use a different type of media to let people know that.
Gotcha. On a scale of 1 to 5 stars, 5 being the best, what do you rate this Odwalla billboard?
Probably a 1, because you don't really, the most important thing is who the advertiser is. And that's something that you really have to look to find on this board.
Yep. That's a thumbs down. Here we go. Number 2. Betsy Akers is ranked asterisk. Atlanta's #1 individual realtor registered. BetsyAkers.com. Phone number. Tons of numbers. Atlanta Fine Homes by Sotheby International. And some sort of disclaimer. Is that legit?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been doing this for about 34 years, and it's amazing how people try to put an entire encyclopedia on the billboard. Like for this, the picture is great. That's really the only thing good about this entire billboard, because there's so much information that you don't even have a chance to even read what it says. So, for example, if this was my client, I mean, it has 2011, 2012, 2013. All it needs to say is, have a picture of a house, or I'd probably have a picture of the real estate agent as opposed to a house, but have a picture. Either way is fine. And then take off all this extra copy and just say Betsy Akers is ranked number one individual realtor, because you don't need the website because people Google the realtor. You don't need all this 2011, all those different dates, because above it says number one individual realtor. So it has so much copy on there, everything gets lost and you don't
Why
have
are
a
you
chance
trying to
to read
do
it.
so much, Betsy?
Yeah.
It's over the
So
top.
yeah. So like I said, if this was a newspaper ad or an internet ad where you have 5 minutes to read it, it'd be fine.
Yeah. Betsy, I'm sure you're nice, but you need to work on slimming this down, making it more readable, and thinking about that humans react to eyes and faces, and, especially going 70 miles an hour. Beautiful house, though. Love it. Here we go. Number 3. Ooh, Atlanta United versus Houston Dynamo. Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Southeast. Fox Sports. Oh, my. This is a very interesting billboard because it is very, timing wise, it's very timely.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And this is a digital billboard. So digitals are great because you can change the message and have, for example, Atlanta United or the Braves can have different games that are coming up. But the picture is great. Fox Sports Southeast is great. Everything is readable. I would just make a simple change and take off all the bottom AT&T, the channel that it's on, DirecTV, all that takes your eye away from Atlanta United versus Houston Dynamo. So I would just make a small change on that. And if you did that, then it would be much more effective. And the other thing to keep in mind with billboards, you really want to have, like if you took off the whole bottom, it would have about 10 words. You want to have 6 to 10 words at the most. And a lot of our clients, Golden Corral, Reliable Heating and Air, will only have maybe a logo will be, let's say, half the size or a third of the size of the board, and then maybe 3 or 4 words, and that's it. Because like that saying, keep it simple, stupid is great for billboards. And like I said, if you were to just cover up the bottom line of that, then the top portion, which is important, would stand out even more, because now when you look at it, you see all that AT&T, DirecTV, Dish, Spectrum, and it just takes your eye away from what the message is.
That's really a good point, because that's so much unnecessary text. You
Yes.
do not need that for sure. Okay, let's look at the next one. It is, what is this? Up Late. Oh, Get Up to Speed weeknights at 11. What do you think of this?
Yes. So a couple things. It's great that it has the pictures, but if you look, the logo is in the bottom corner. It says like 11 Alive. I think that's the logo. Is that the logo right there?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Sorry about
So,
that.
so the bottom line is, if you took off the word up late and it says get up to special news weeknights at 11 p.m. And where up late is, if it's channel 11 or whatever channel that is, I don't even know what local channel that is because the logo is so small.
They have room. They could have just pulled that down and put channel 8 Up Late.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That seems like a dumb move. Like they missed a huge opportunity. And this looks like prime real estate. I don't know where it's at, but there's big buildings around it. It is a good picture, though.
Yeah.
It is a good picture. What would you rate this billboard on a scale of 1 to 5?
Probably a 2. And the other thing too is a lot of times, like, that's very creative. It's got the pictures on there, so it gets your attention. But I would say at least half the ads I see on billboards, you don't even know who the advertiser is because the logo is way too small. And people look at it on the computer screen. The reason this happens is it's a simple, there's a good explanation, is that people look at it on the computer screen. They spend a few minutes looking at it. Oh yeah, that looks great. And then when you drive by on a billboard, it could be 200 feet off the road. So when it's way off the road, who the advertiser is gets lost, and people are going by in some instances on the interstate 60, 70 miles an hour. So you miss that.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's very fast. All right. Moving on to the next one. We have, oh my gosh, I don't even know what this is. Oh, it is a Piaget champagne.
Yeah.
What is
So
this?
it says Baltimore's own black owned champagne. And it's very like eye catching, but you don't even know, like it says PiagetFashion.com. That says, first of all, that doesn't say anything about champagne. There's there's 50 bottles of champagne. So you don't even, oh, and then it's got a liquor store down here, Shamrock Liquors, 4300 Bel Air Road. So, for example, on this one, if you just changed it, had one bottle of champagne in huge copy, Piaget, Baltimore's black owned champagne, Shamrock Liquors. That's it.
Available
People,
at.
yeah, available at Shamrock Liquors. You don't need the address because people can tell their phone navigate to Shamrock Liquors. You don't need the website because people can Google the product. So people do a lot of redundancy on a billboard where they'll put the name of the company and the website, which is going to make your ad much less effective because it ends up having too much copy.
I think, from a marketing standpoint, my problem with this ad is that it's trying to be fancy, but it looks super cheap. And I think that's the opposite message of what they're trying to do. And where they did put Shamrock Liquors, that is like really hard to see. Like, it's got distractions. I can see they put a stroke around it, but man, this board needs a lot of help. Piaget better get some better advertising or they're not going to be drinking much champagne. On a scale of 1 to 5 stars, Bill, what do you rate this billboard?
A 1. Yeah.
Wow. I give it a 0.5.
0.5. Yeah.
0.0.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the next one from our friends over at Jim Ellis Toyota in McDonough.
Okay. Yeah, this actually is, I'd probably give this around a 3. So the good thing is it has Jim Ellis Toyota is, it obviously used to be Toyota McDonough and Jim Ellis bought it. So Jim Ellis Toyota is big enough that you can read it. But the issue is that, for example, they're selling cars. So if you're selling cars, they have a picture of 4 people, and this board is on I-75 on the interstate, so people are flying by the board. If you want to put a picture, it's better to put one picture because on the board, you're not going to be able to tell who these people are. But ideally, if I am selling cars, it says a picture's worth 1,000 words. I would put a picture of a Toyota on the board because then they can look at the board and immediately know that, hey, this is something to do with automotive. And then also at the bottom, it has Toyota, Jim Ellis, and some other icon. You can't really read those. So you could take that off and make everything else larger. And that's going to make it more effective. But people kind of like, to me, this almost looks like a real estate ad or a lawyer ad because lawyers and real estate agents will have their pictures up there. And then when you read it, you're like, oh, it's a car dealership,
Yeah. A car would have helped, even if they were standing in front of a car.
Yeah. And with the billboard, you always want, like, on looking at it here on the computer, the 4 pictures look fine, but I've driven by this billboard. And if you put people on the board, you only want to have one person because then you're going to glance at it and say, oh, there's a person. Because it does, people do notice billboards with people on them, but you're better off having one person because this is very cluttered with 4 people. And the 4 people take up half the billboard and don't do anything for it. Where if you took 3 people off, that would make the copy much larger and give you more room for the copy.
Are there any studies regarding attractiveness in models on billboards?
There, not that I know of. There are studies that if you have a picture of a person, it is more effective because of the fact that people like to look at people, you know? So it does that. Or if you have a picture of something like whatever you're selling, if it's a car, you know, put a picture of a car up there. If
Yeah.
it's, you know, that kind of thing, that makes it more effective as well.
Now, Bill, you broke a rule and broke format earlier when you gave this a rating of 2. Now that you've sat with it a bit longer, what do you still think it's a 2? Because it's, man, you kind of talked me down.
Maybe like 1.5. I mean, but it is, you know, probably 1.5 or 2 because you do. The good thing is that the Jim Ellis Toyota is readable.
It's very readable. We'll give them
Yeah,
that. Good job.
yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next one. It is attorney Michelle Cross, the Legally
Oh my
Blonde,
goodness.
Atlanta. Hey, Buckhead, caught driving drunk? Allegedly. Call me. DUI defense expert. Is that her? I don't know if I
I
would
think it
trust
is. Yeah, yeah. And
it.
so
Wow.
I can't imagine that she got very much business from this because she's obviously a very attractive woman. So having her picture up there makes sense. But everything else, it looks like, you know, and the pink background is actually good because you don't see many pink billboards. So it gets your attention. But there's so much copy, you don't like, you know, you don't even know what it says basically. So if you got rid of half this copy, you could get the message across and
Yeah.
and it would be much more, you know, if you just put attorney Michelle Cross, um, you know, DUI
But
defense expert, and then a phone number, and that's it.
the address, really? They put the
Yeah.
address on there? Like they needed that tiny print? This is a syndrome of somebody who was working on a computer and they're like, wow, that looks so big and nice. It's just
Mhm.
so when you take it out into the real world, it changes drastically.
Oh yeah.
LawyerMichelle.com. I don't know if that's really her. That would be weird. It looked like that's not a very trusting image. I wouldn't want to, not that it just, it looks like she's going to the beach, not to the court.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she's very it looks like somebody going to party. It doesn't look like somebody who's you know, who's going to fight for me.
Yeah, you can be pretty and professional at the same
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
But
for
again,
sure. Yeah.
it is her prerogative to wear whatever the hell she wants. So if this is what works, and who knows, this lady might slay. She might get into the
Mhm.
courtrooms and just destroy. And that's why she needs a better billboard. Something that really
Mhm.
hits. I would love to see just her name. And then it was like DUI defense expert, drugs, traffic, battery. That's it.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then I would do a vanity URL because I think lawyer Michelle, I think spelling is really difficult for people. So
Oh
like
yeah,
if you
for
can
sure.
simplify, and unless you're going to buy every misspelling of Michelle, like you're better off with some vanity URL that you know will convert quickly.
Mhm.
People will remember.
Oh yeah.
What do you rate this board on a scale of 1 to 5?
Probably a 1.
Yeah, it's not good. But I do like the pink though.
Yeah.
They should stick with that. Think about how impactful it would be with negative space and the white text.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, the next board is up. It is Sinai Health System. We are providing high quality personalized care for every patient.
Okay. They could definitely use a lot of help on this. It's a great picture and it's a great message. The issue is their logo is so small you can barely read it. And there's all this stuff on the left of the logo. I don't even know what it says. So the way to make this effective is to change it. not sure what that says. So where it says, it's different hospitals. Okay. But so they have 2, 4, 6, 8, or 9 hospitals listed, which you
They are
can't.
definitely breaking the rules of 6 to 10 words.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could make some minor changes to this and it would be very effective. Where it says we are, if you remove that tagline and just put a huge logo on the left side of the board and then take off the
You
phone
got to
number.
say we are. You're so right. They could just say
Yeah.
Sinai, providing high quality
Provide.
personal.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, this is what brands do, Bill. They're thinking about their brand market. They probably have a campaign called We Are. So they're like, we've got to throw that up there, even though it's not going to help the billboard.
Oh, yeah. And you could, for example, if you want to leave that up there, you could take off the phone number and then put, we are providing high quality personalized care for every patient at the very bottom. And then where it says, we are providing high quality personalized care for every patient, make the logo that whole size. And then it'd be a great ad. And I would even put, we are providing high quality personalized care. Because you don't need to put for every patient, obviously, you say that. But the logo needs to be where that whole tagline is, and then it'd be a fantastic board. Because the lady's very, she gets your attention, she's smiling, so if you made those small changes, it would be much more effective and be a great billboard.
On a scale of 1 to 5 stars, what do you rate this, Bill?
Probably a 2.
Nice, a 2. We'll take it. Let's go to the next billboard on Bill's Billboard Review with Bill the Billboard Guy. It is Northside Hospital. I love this board.
Oh yeah. So this one, Northside, is a great account and they do a lot of billboards. This is actually one of their better ones. A lot of their boards, the logo is very small. So on this one, I like this because it has the most cancer surgeries performed in Georgia. The only thing about it is when you look at it on the computer screen, Northside Hospital Cancer Institute looks fine, but on the billboard, when you drive by this, that's kind of small. So what I would do is, number one, people read left to right. So I would take the logo and move that to the left and make it about twice the size. So if you glance at this and you're driving by on the interstate, you read the most cancer surgeries performed in Georgia. That's about 4 times the size of Northside Hospital. So Northside Hospital is the most important thing on the board. So if you move that to the left, make it about double the size, and then move the guy's picture to the right and cut him off in a little bit. And then at the very bottom of the board, on one line, put the most cancer surgeries performed in Georgia. Then this will be even more effective because of the fact that Northside Hospital Cancer Institute will stand out like a sore thumb, and it's going to be at least double the size it is now. And at the bottom, you put the tagline and then just cut his torso off, and it would be Northside Hospital would get much more response from that.
Bill the Billboard Guy, what do you rate this on a scale of 1 to 5 stars?
Probably a 3.
Yeah. Man, I would love to see what you call a 5. All right. Here we go. We are here on Bill the Billboard Guy's Billboard Review Show, and up next we have, let's see. Oh dear, what is this? Care Check Hospital.
This is actually another. So hospitals and medical centers use a ton of billboards. Unfortunately, a lot of them are kind of like this, where number one is you have Care Check, you have top 100 top hospitals. You have a picture, which it's good to have a picture, but on a hospital, you really don't need a picture of like they have a third of the board or more is a picture of the hospital. Nobody really cares what the hospital looks like. You want to have like a picture of a smiling doctor who makes you feel comfortable. And then also it says Georgia's #1 hospital. That's the main emphasis which you read. And
It's
there's not
called
much
contrast. Right.
Yeah. So,
It's called contrast. Whose idea was it to put tan on tan?
oh yeah. So on this, you could make some minor changes. You could put, and if you want, it's a newer building. So that's why they have the picture up there. But if all those CareChef top 100 hospitals, you can't read the top 100 hospitals on the billboard. So take all that off. If you want the picture, cut it off, maybe where that circular rotunda is. But I would prefer to see a doctor. Like the last one we had was Sinai. They had a picture of a doctor. Northside Hospital had a doctor. So I'd
I would
put a
have put
picture
two
of a
doctors
doctor on
right
the
here.
left, and
Yep.
then put Northeast Georgia Medical Center, make that larger, and then Georgia's #1 hospital. So you could make some small tweaks to this and then have a dark background and it would look great. But the way it is now, this board's they have some stuff in Georgia and it's really not, it's very difficult to read.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's hard to read. I think for me, this is my least favorite board so far.
Yeah.
I give it a 0.0. What about
I'd probably
you?
give it a 1. I'd give it a
A
1.
1?
But the good thing is these are all designs that you can make some minor changes, have the same message, and their campaign and their ROI would be through the roof.
If you need help with your billboard purchases, billboard creative, billboard placement, you've got to talk to Bill, the billboard guy, who we're here doing billboard reviews with. So make sure you reach out to him. You can go to effortlessoutdoormedia.com and you can email him at bill@effortlessoutdoormedia.com. Let's go to the next one. This one is one of my favorites, Bill. I picked it just for you because I think you should hire this guy as your next attorney. Reginald Green, the super lawyer. Da-da-da-da. This is I like that it's a complete Marvel ripoff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Now, this definitely is eye catching. And, the super lawyer gets your attention. And then he has a phone number, which I'm not going to remember, 866-4-LAW-411, So the only bad thing about it is Reginald Green is kind of small. Like if you look at this, you don't really notice Reginald Green. So I would take off the phone number and move super lawyer down and move his picture to the right, take off .com, and then there'd be room to make Reginald Green on the top of the board, probably all the way across or 2/3 of the board going across, and it would be much larger, and then have personal injury smaller because it's a personal injury lawyer based on super lawyer, So you could make, it definitely catches your eye.
I feel like Reginald and me would be friends. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell he's got a good sense of humor. And I bet he does slay cases. I mean, he does look pretty badass there.
Oh, he definitely does. Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 5, what do you rate this board?
Probably 2.5. Yeah. Or 3. Yeah.
Nice. Reginald will be happy to hear that. Bill, you have covered so many boards today. This was the creme de la creme for me. What was your favorite board that you saw today?
I probably like the super lawyer the best.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fun board. Yeah. And then also, if you look at our website, you'll see a lot of great creative from our clients that are very effective.
Absolutely. Go to effortlessoutdoormedia.com. Make sure you check back often for more Bill the Billboard Guy's Billboard Review Show, where we rip apart billboards we see online. Bill gives his honest feedback, and I'm just here for the ride. On behalf of the whole team here and Bill Hobbs from Effortless Outdoor Media, we'll see you next time.